A gay guy being bullied. Ooh, at high
Yeah.
school. Yeah. What else is new?
It's like, I know because I was the bully.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah. Before we get started, I did want to make you feel a little bit more at home, though. I got you another drink. I know you have your diet drink,
Yeah.
but I got you another one. I don't want you to see what it is though. So just like crack it open and take a sip and tell me if you recognize it or not.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. You
Go
know,
ahead. Give
I'm
her a
new.
straw just in case, or maybe
I'm
open it.
I'm I'm new to acrylics. Wait. Okay.
You're natural at it though.
I'm getting
I feel like
I'm getting
you're
better at
naturally good
it.
at everything. I
You know,
feel.
it's like my girlfriend from back home, Janie GK. She
Mm-hmm.
has like nails still here,
Mm-hmm.
and she does everything with it. And she said to me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way back now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. No way. No way.
Tastes familiar.
Of course.
A little taste of home.
Wait. I've been dying to have this
Yeah.
for so long.
Welcome to Vegas. Yeah, I went to a market and they had Peruvian soda there for you.
Oh my
And
God, it's
yeah.
Inca Cola.
Yeah. You can take it out if you want to reveal. Do the reveal
Baby,
now. We're doing a taste test. Inca Cola.
this is the shit in Peru.
Uh-huh.
This is the shit. This is what everybody. It's more popular than Coke,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And this
Yeah.
is one of my most favorite drinks.
I took a chance. I was like, you spent 4 years. Surely as a kid you were drinking that. If everyone says like, if you're a
Yeah.
kid in Peru, you had Inca Cola.
Oh
So
yeah. Every
yeah.
Peruvian, watching now Inca Cola. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna
Yeah.
be so happy seeing this. Mm. Maddie, that's so thoughtful. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I know you're asking for a diet soda, so sorry if I ruined your diet. But again, you're in America, so if you're gonna be here, you need to pack on the pounds to
I I I
assimilate and fit in.
I
So,
lost, track. I've been
hmm
working out, watching my food,
hmm
to come here to America, and now everything is like out. Yeah,
yeah. By the time you get home, then your costumes are gonna fit. But
well,
yeah,
everything is stretchy now. Normally, I have a belt with this one on, but
hmm yeah,
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The belt doesn't close anymore.
yeah, understandable. Yeah, my compliments though. You definitely have the slightly higher budget version than I do, but that's okay. We get by.
I
We make
love
do.
it. I love it, and we didn't even agree on this.
No,
So
I
you're a
made
good mind
this.
reader.
Well, with you, it's so hard.
Predictable. I won't say that.
Not predictable, no, because you have so many looks,
Uh-huh.
but you don't have like a hyper specific style.
Mm-hmm.
But what your style is expensive and highly detailed. And I was like, I'm not paying $400, $500 for a wig just for one interview.
No.
So I was like, what's the outfit you wore that I can maybe make for cheaper? And
Yeah,
I was like, I can maybe make this one, just like a little cowl,
I love
and
it.
then naturally you show up in this one, so it worked
I
out
love it.
perfectly.
I'm
So
gagged. I'm really
yeah,
impressed.
but yeah. Okay, now on to the interview.
Right.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Give It To Me Straight. It's more than a bedroom show, it's an international bedroom show. I'm your host, Maddy Morphosis, and joining me on the show today is fashion icon, makeup artist, and the winner of Drag Race Holland Season 1, Miss Envy Peru.
Hi, Maddie. So
Uh,
good to be in your show.
It's an
Hello,
honor,
world.
it's an honor to have you. I can't believe you came all this way across the world just for the show. It's
Yeah,
so
just
wild.
to sit here.
That's the pull the show has. It's how
Yes.
important it is to
Thank you
people.
for flying
So
me over, Maddie.
well, I didn't know Southwest flew that far, but we made
No,
it work. We figured it out.
Southwest was Spirit, darling.
Oh, Spirit? Oh, not. I would never put you on a Spirit. You go on a Spirit, you become a Spirit.
Oh
We would
God,
never do that. We'll never do
oh,
that.
we don't want that.
But yeah, welcome to Vegas. You said this is one of the last stops on like your American tour.
Yes.
How has the American audiences been treating you? Is it
Oh,
different from like the audiences in like the Netherlands?
really different.
Really different?
I've been telling this to my boyfriend. In the Netherlands, we don't have tipping culture.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I was here, my first booking here in America was Washington D.C. in Pictures,
Mm.
and my songs were way too short.
Oh,
Because people were still like with the dollars in their
yeah.
hand, and we were 4 minutes in the song, and people were still like, I want to tip you. So I learned from that.
Mm-hmm.
So now my mixes are a little bit longer for the
Mm-hmm.
American audience, but yeah, it's very different than back home.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been loving it so much.
I bet.
Yeah, I've been working to get this visa for such a long time. It took me a year.
Mm-hmm.
So now to finally be here, in the States, and it's a new pond for me. It
Yeah.
feels like, starting all over.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is new and everything is exciting.
Yeah. but the visa's paying off though
Yeah.
because everyone's just like giving you your money's worth for it.
Yes,
So
yes.
you don't even have to perform that hard. You just walk around, look pretty. People want to give
Right.
you money just because.
Yes.
It's lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what the American dream is. That
Right.
you hear about so much. It's that.
Low effort, maximum impact.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
cross-dressing and people handing you money for doing
Right.
nothing.
No, and I work my
Celebrating
ass off.
mediocrity. That's what it's all about. That's what the show is
Right.
about. Really. That's. But yeah. Well, yeah. Welcome to America.
Thank you.
Hopefully, it's all good bills. No one's throwing quarters at you or anything like that.
No,
So.
no, yeah. In the Netherlands, they throw
Mhm.
yeah,
Maybe.
the euro coins.
Yeah.
And like it, like I had several. No, yeah. In Holland, I have a residency together with some other
Mhm.
drag race girls, the Dutch Drag Dynasty.
Mhm.
So we do that in the Harbor Club. So if you've never been in Amsterdam and you want to see a drag show, a good drag show, a professional one, then that's the one to see. And Vanessa van Cartier is in a Jane and Jacquet,
Mm.
a lot of the Drag Race Holland alumni.
What if you want to see a bag drag show? Where does people go in Holland for a bad one?
For a bad one.
Yeah. You said where they go for a good one. So what's
Yeah.
the bad one? Tell everybody. Where's the bad drag at?
Well, there's no bad drag in Holland. No,
Very
no,
congenial.
no.
You didn't win Miss Congeniality. Just
No,
be
but I
yourself.
could
You're a
have.
winner. You get to be mean.
Yeah. Well, you think?
You're being very kind. You should be like the Violet Chachki of the Netherlands. You already got the
Actually,
fashion. Now you just need to be meaner.
Yeah.
You earned it.
I found it hard to be mean, There's a
Ah.
lot of thoughts here in my head,
Mhm.
but I will never really be mean to
Okay.
someone.
Well, we'll see if we can get it out of you.
Oh, God.
Here
we go.
But as I mentioned earlier, it was like really hard to try to find like an outfit or a vibe to like match you.
Mhm.
But even harder was finding research on you because one, you're not very like opinionated online. You don't like express a lot of like your thoughts and opinions about things, and so not super forthcoming. It's very like, here's the brand, here's the show I'm doing. Look how I look. Like that's your social media presence. And the
Right.
other part is everything I did find in Dutch
Yeah.
and having to Google translate everything.
I was like, how the hell is you gonna do research on me?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't
No.
easy. But we got some down to some
Oh my
some things
goodness.
though.
Okay.
But wherever there's gaps, I'm hoping you'll like fill them in for me.
Right.
So it's gonna be we're on a journey together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring you into the Envy Peru journey.
Yeah, hopefully. Or maybe not.
Or maybe
We'll
not.
see.
We'll see.
Maybe it's not a good thing, but we'll find out. As everyone already knows by now, you were born in South America, in Peru. For my American audience, I'll put a little map so you know where Peru is because they, American education. But is it true that your parents thought you were a Moche prince at one point in a past life?
A what?
A Moche prince in a past life?
A Moche prince?
Yeah, in a past life.
Yeah. Wait. How do you know that? No, that's true. No, I thought it.
Oh, you thought it, and you just projected it onto them.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not saying it. My parents did.
No, it's like I remember when I went back to Peru after I think that was the first time going back, or maybe the second time. We went to see these ruins of the mochi, and I dressed up myself as one of those princes, and then I thought I must have been some kind of prince or royalty.
For those that don't know, Moche was a civilization before the Incas. So again, this is a learning opportunity about you and for like the audience. We're educating them on cultures and stuff like that. So yeah, we're basically like PBS, educational programming at this point.
Really? Wow. You do all the things.
So that wasn't your parents. So you lied, and that was you came up with that story.
I think it was. I don't know where. The story sounds very familiar. I don't know where you got that story, but it sounds familiar. But I think I might have said that story because I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're born in Peru and you ended up moving to Amsterdam at the age of 4 with your mom and your aunt.
Yes.
Well, I have a lot of questions about the moving, but like just in general, we'll start at the base level. Like, what was the reason for moving from Peru all the way to the Netherlands?
Well, the reason for moving was basically to seek for a better future. My mom got me very early when she was 20 years old, and my dad was 21 years old. But my dad, he was really a very good professional tennis player, and children was not part of his plan, basically. So my mom thought, okay, well, if you don't want to raise this kid together, then I'm gonna do it by myself. So I've been raised actually for the first 4 or 5 years. Been raised by my granny and my auntie and my mom, and my mom moved to Europe, basically to earn money. So they could provide for me and for my uncle and my auntie to go to study. So she really sacrificed herself for the sake of our family. And at one point it got too much for her. You know, she was missing me, and she decided to go back to Peru and pick me up. And we moved to Europe illegal immigrants. And the reason for that is because a good friend of my mom, who she was in school with, um, she lived in the Netherlands, and she said, "Well, I think this is a very good country for your
Mm-hmm.
kids to grow up." And I'm happy. I'm happy. We ended up there because, you know, the Netherlands is a beautiful country to live in. It's an accepting country to live in. I probably would not have been doing drag if I was still living in Peru.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you might have because, like, as we'll talk through this interview, it seems like you were almost like destined for it. Like a lot of roads led you to drag, but I mean, we'll get to those in a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really curious because like the Amsterdam, obviously you were trying to get out of Peru, find a better life, but the Amsterdam is, you know, Holland is such a specific place to go. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know how many immigrants from Peru go there specifically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that was the reason because we had a friend of my mom living
mhm,
in the Netherlands, and she said, "Well, come here and seek for a better future over here, over there." And we basically have been illegal immigrants till I was 18 years old. You know, it took us a very long time to finally get full citizenship
mhm.
in the Netherlands, and you know,
But yeah, I was curious because, you know, obviously she wanted to find a better life, but if I can ask, like, why like the urgency of like going and like moving, like becoming like illegal immigrants to this country instead of like the processes? Like, what was like the urgency of moving like right then and there?
well, my mom didn't want a future for me in Peru, being raised as a bastard son,
Hmm.
you know, a son that without a father,
Hmm.
because that's back in that day, that's really like a sin, and it's really like taboo
Hmm.
in culture, in Peruvian culture. So she was, no, I don't want that for my son. You know, she's a very strong, independent woman,
Hmm.
and well, she had the balls just to go, you
Hmm.
know, at such a young age with a kid. So I really admire her for that.
Is it hard to like get citizenship like in the
It
Netherlands?
was very hard to get a citizenship there. At one point, you know, when when the Dutch government found out, oh, damn, we have a mom here with a child who are here illegal for such a long time. What are we gonna do with this people? You know, because
Hmm.
at that point I was already like 12 years old when they found out that we were living illegal
Hmm.
in the Netherlands. So I was like fluently speaking Dutch. You know, I was more Dutch than I was Peruvian. So there was no way they could send me and my mom back to Peru.
Hmm.
So we went really to court to fight it because there was a possibility that the government would say, well, you're illegal,
Hmm.
goodbye, and you need to go back to Peru. But it was too inhumane
Hmm.
because I was yeah, really like verkast, how we say in Dutch.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cheesed, you
Jeez.
know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so eventually after fighting it, you know, when I was 17 years, I finally got my Dutch passport, and at the age of 18, I went back for the first time to meet my family
Hmm.
and also to meet my dad.
I know you have somewhat of a relationship with your father.
Hmm.
At the very least, you know, like recognition. Like at the time, like was it just like a just he just didn't want a child at the time, or was he
Hmm.
full on just I don't have a son, that's not my son, like I need
No, he
to
was not ready.
just wasn't
He
ready.
was not ready for it.
Did you
And
but you did you ever have any kind of like communication with him prior to turning 18, or was it only when you turned 18 that you finally
um,
communicated with
well,
him?
the thing was, me and my mom will always send my dad a letter with a picture so he could see how I was growing up.
Mm.
But you know, we never got a response back. And at one point, you know, we stopped sending him any letters. And then when I turned 17 years, I got my first letter from my dad. The reason why he never replied was because we were sending the pictures and, you know, the letters to the address of my grandmother, the
Mm.
mother of my dad. And he never delivered those letters, or she never delivered those letters to my dad.
Oh wow.
So so at that point, my dad like had like all these pictures and all these letters of me trying to contact him,
Hmm.
and we never got something back. So he decided to write me, and
You
from there,
you're basically just like sending messages in a bottle out to sea, going
really,
nowhere, and then out of
yeah,
nowhere.
yeah. And the reason was because my dad already had like a new life with a new you know, with a new wife and
Hmm.
two kids. So my grandmother, or the mother of my dad, didn't want to interfere with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yeah, it's also like her conscience started to play, and
Mm-hmm.
because there was a kid on the other side of the ocean trying to reach his dad, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, didn't get any response. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine what it's like, even like for his perspective, where like
yeah,
he knew he had a child at one point,
yeah,
doesn't hear anything for like 17 years
yeah,
or however long it is, and then all of a sudden an entire portfolio
yeah,
is dropped on his lap of like, oh, here's
yeah,
your child's been trying to reach you since
yeah,
the age of like 4.
yeah. And he saw me getting gayer and gayer and gayer and gayer. Pictures when I was like 15, 16, 17 years old. It's like my brows were like so thin,
Hmm.
like the ones I have now.
Did you feel any kind of like resentment towards him, the fact that he had like this daughter that he had like raised, meanwhile like another child that he hadn't like contacted all these years? Did you have like a kind of resentment, or was it more like understanding on your part?
I had a lot of understanding. And it's also because my mom never raised me with any hate for my dad.
Hmm.
You know, she always spoke very kind of him. And, you know, like I said to you, he was not ready for it. So
Hmm.
I never grew like hatred or something or resentment for my dad. I was just very happy that he contacted me, you
Hmm.
know. And the year after, when I turned 18, we went to Peru. And just seeing him,
Hmm.
you know, that was the most beautiful thing, because then I finally could see someone who looked like me. You know,
Hmm.
I look like a lot like my mom, but you know, I could see like how my dad, how his face, his nose, his skin tone. It's
Hmm.
like, oh wow, you
And
know, that
like
was such.
filled in the blanks. So
Yes,
the features
yeah,
that weren't your mom, you found like the other half,
the
and
other half, you know, and
yeah.
that was very special for me.
Hmm.
So we always, you know, we have a good relationship. You know, we text each other so now and then, and every time I go back to Peru, you know, he receives me with open arms, and he's very okay with me being gay.
Hmm.
You know, I was very afraid that me coming out as gay or as a drag queen would be a problem for him,
Hmm.
but he said something so beautiful to me that always stick with me, and he said, you know, I lost you already for 17 years. I don't want to lose you again.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah. I wonder because, as you were saying, like he wasn't ready for a kid. He was rising in like tennis, trying to
Mm.
become like a famous tennis player. Do you think he might have some resentment towards you because you got more famous than him? Do you think that's caused any issues?
Well, maybe he's very supportive. You know, it's
Yeah.
like you know, my dad's side of the family. They're you know they go for the careers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my sister is she's training to go to the Olympics
Mm-hmm.
for the national team in swimming. So there's always been some, you know, um, yeah, sports always has been like a big part
Mm-hmm.
of my dad's yeah, my dad's genes, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
try to be the best in something. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like if you're gonna pursue drag, you know, do it correctly and be the best in it, or the
Mm-hmm.
best as possible. You know,
Yeah.
don't embarrass me.
Mm-hmm. But if you showed up and you were a little crusty, it may have been a different reunion, is what you're
Yeah, it would
saying.
probably
Yeah.
be like a
Yeah.
different kind of
If
story,
your
you know.
eyebrows were uneven, he'd be like,
Yeah,
"You're not my
no,
child."
you're not my
No,
child.
that's.
No.
Well, I'm glad it
Don't
worked out
contact
though.
me. Gonna delete your number. It's
Yeah,
done, you know.
you just
Bye.
yeah. Well,
Find another dad.
yeah, glad it worked out for you.
Yes.
But as you're saying, you moved to Amsterdam illegally. What was your upbringing like because you were like an illegal immigrant? Like, what are the things you faced that other kids native to the Netherlands didn't have to face?
Well, the language at first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember as a kid coming to the Netherlands, I couldn't speak the language. So I've been thrown into school, and I was like, "Señorita, señorita," and all the kids, you know, would start bullying me because I couldn't speak any Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, because you're so young, I learned Dutch very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
to a point that I was refused, uh, to the point that I refused to speak Spanish at home, and my mom was like, "In this household, you're gonna speak Spanish. You know, there's gonna be a day that you're going to go back to Peru,
Mm-hmm.
and you will need to speak with your family. And if you can't do that, then you're a fake Latino, basically."
Mm-hmm.
So she really pushed me to be trilingual,
Mm-hmm.
actually. So it's English, Dutch, and Spanish. Um, so yeah.
She
It
moved
was a
you.
lot.
She moved you halfway across the world with all these little white kids,
Yeah.
and then put it on you like, don't be a fake Latino. It's like, why'd you
Yeah.
put me here?
Yeah. No, but I'm, even though I've been living in the Netherlands for so long, actually basically my whole life, I feel such a connection with my, yeah, with my Peruvian roots.
Yeah, like she
You
made
know.
sure that you had that still, just like
Yes.
at least a little
That
bit
was
like
very
ingrained in you.
important to her,
It
you
kept
know.
almost like a tether to you. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but also like living in the Netherlands like illegally, you probably didn't receive a lot of like the government benefits that like a lot of citizens
Oh
would,
no.
because your mom had to work like twice as hard because of it,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
what was it like for her, like growing up and having a mom that's just always working, always trying to like take care of this household?
Well, my mom is my superhero. That if I just think about that, you know, yeah, that it makes me emotional almost.
Mm-hmm.
She came to Holland when she was 24 with a kid of 4 years old. I'm 35 now.
Mm-hmm.
So that means me with a kid of
Damn.
15 years old now? Oh, hell no. So I really admire her for her strength and her perseverance. She basically, because you don't have the benefits, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
she worked her ass off. She worked her ass off. I always remember seeing my mom working, 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 and taking care of me, bringing me to school,
Mm-hmm.
doing the most. And yeah, to a point that it really affected her mental health. So she got help for that as well. But yeah, she basically, yeah, worked her ass off,
Mm-hmm.
and it cost her health. Luckily, she's doing good now.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing good. She's
Yeah,
doing good.
because now
But
she has a famous drag queen child that can
yeah.
finally pull their weight. What were you doing at this time? She's working like 5 jobs. What were you doing?
I was just, this very cute little chubby kid,
Mm-hmm.
always drawing.
The chubby kid. So you're eating up all the food. Okay.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. I every time when I came back from school, I will always like eat like a can of tuna with a lot of mayonnaise and a lot of corn. Yeah, it sounds disgusting
Corn.
actually, but I love tuna. To this day, I love tuna.
Just imagining being a mom, coming home from your 15-hour shift at your
Yeah,
third job,
and your kid is
and
just
your chubby
eating.
little kid's just eating all the tuna,
Yes,
drawing Digimon.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Digimon. I was always drawing like Digimon and Pokemons and Dragon Ball Z's. Like I always been drawing,
Mm-hmm.
always, always. If you see like pictures from me when I was a kid, I was always like behind the table drawing beautiful women as well.
See, your mom had calloused hands, so you could be an artist.
Yes.
So that's what it is. I was just saying, like all the stress and everything, it caused her to have like some issues like with her health, and then she like, went away for a while because of it. Is it around that time that the government realized that you guys were living there legally? Was it
Yeah,
because of that?
yeah. It was because
So
of that.
what was the series of events that happened there?
Well, basically because she had problems with her mental health. The police found out that there was this mother here with a kid, and we basically lost everything. Our
Mhm.
house, my mom needed to be hospitalized, and I went into foster care, basically, and that really, yeah, that was a long period in time,
Mhm.
from my 11 to my 17 years, so almost like 6 years, I was in foster care. And, in that time, my mom was doing fine. She was already better,
Mhm.
but because we didn't have any rights and we were still waiting for our process to get our citizenship, we could not get a house. So my mom had a boyfriend, and during that time, and I would only see my mom during the weekends. And so yeah, that was hard. That
Mhm.
was hard, and hard for her, hard for me, because in that period of time from me 11 to 16, I didn't really have like a stable home. I was always like
Just bouncing in between
bouncing
them.
between families,
Mhm.
and yeah, and a child's place, child's home, what you call it, kinderthuis.
Like the group homes
Yeah,
and
group homes.
yeah.
And so till 17, to my 17, and then when I turned 18, we got a citizenship. We applied for a house, got it right away, and that same year we went to Peru.
Mhm.
So yeah, that time was hard.
Mhm.
Was hard. Yeah.
So like not only did that happen, but it happened, for 7 years, and it happened between the ages of like 11 through 17.
Hmm.
So it's like some of the most pivotal years of like your life and development. Like, how did that affect like your like teen years, like going through like puberty and understanding and learning about like yourself and your sexuality and everything?
Yeah.
Like,
I knew I was different. I knew from a very young age, even as a child, that I was different. I was very drawn to feminine stuff. I would always dress up. I'll always be the kid like using a towel, to mimic a wig. Always drawing
Mm-hmm.
and always being creative, and that was my escapism basically.
Mm-hmm.
And as a 14-year-old kid, I went to theater school as well, and so I was always very drawn to the arts. And but yeah, not having like a home, a home that you can call this is my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was difficult because I was like trying to figure out who I am as a person as well. I knew I was gay, but I didn't want to disappoint my family, and my mom especially, with me being gay. It's like I could hear her say like, I didn't come to this country for you to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to hold up like the straight,
Mm-hmm.
being straight, but I was way too gay. I came out when I was 21 basically, but
Mm-hmm.
everybody already knew that I was gay.
Mm-hmm. So what was it like for you growing up? Did other kids know that you were gay or like, bully you for it, or was it
Yeah.
a lot more accepting over there?
No, it was not. It's like
No.
everybody thinks like the Netherlands is this amazing,
Mm-hmm.
accepting place, which it is. We have our rights, but in real life, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
So even like when I was in high school, the kids would see me that I was different. I was always very over the top, dressing up. My hair was like here,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was not afraid to to stand out and to play with with styles, for example. But I just let them at one point. It's from it was not. I didn't like it, of course, but I was like, this is just who I am,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just gonna deal with it, even though it was hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what really helped is that I was good friends with the pretty girls on high
Mm-hmm.
school.
So yeah, so it's like if the guys get in with you,
Yeah,
then you'll be like their segue.
yeah.
So they have a little incentive to not bully you so
Right.
much.
Yeah. So
So
at one point when I was like 15, 16,
mm-hmm.
um, the bullying basically stopped.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah.
you became the gatekeeper for the
Oh,
girls,
yeah.
and
Yeah. But I was still not out.
yeah. Talking about the Netherlands, the Netherlands has always been kind of like on the forefront of like LGBT issues and being a lot more progressive than most places. But at the same time, in recent times, it has kind of started to drift a little more right wing, like extremists.
Yeah.
And you actually experienced that firsthand because you were the victim of homophobia.
Hmm.
Could you like tell that story and like what you experienced with that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, because the Netherlands, we were the first country in the world to legalize gay marriage,
Mm-hmm.
and so you would think, if you talk about the Netherlands, oh, so progressive, and they have the gay pride and the gay, a lot of gay rights, but indeed with this shift what is going on, that even like the government is getting more extremist right, and the people, some of them are more not well are not so accepting anymore of
Mm-hmm.
our community, that I even also experienced some homophobia in during just in daytime. I was not even in drag, just as
Mm-hmm.
Boris as myself. I was just minding my business. I was on my way to go to my mom, and then this group of guys just decided to harass me and call me names, and to a point that it got very ugly, that I was really fearing that, okay, they're really gonna hurt me. So the moment that one of these guys wanted to attack me with this metal object,
Oh, I didn't
uh,
even know that. I thought it
yeah,
was just like
no, no, that
hands.
really want. I was like in the back of the bus. I was in a bus completely full with people, and people heard what was going on, but nobody stepped in. Nobody stepped in to say anything, or to stick up for me. So at that moment, I felt so alone and afraid
Mm-hmm.
as well. And the moment that he wanted to attack me with this item, I had my phone in my hand and started recording it. And he saw that I was recording him, and at that moment he really freaked out. But that was mine. That was mine. My cue to, move away from the situation. And and then there was this one Moroccan lady
Mm-hmm.
in the whole bus that said to this guy, "You guys are really a disgrace. How you treating this human?" And that was for me also an eye opening, because help can come from somebody that you won't not accept,
Not expect.
not expect that. And but luckily because of that, I could remove myself from the situation. But it got really like nasty in the bus because it was full, but I could see them from a distance. They were planning something with each other. So
And you can like feel it
I
like
can feel, I
coming.
felt the tension, they were looking at me. And it's like the moment that we're going to get out of the bus, we arrive at Central Station, Amsterdam, I felt like, okay, then it's going to go off. And they were really threatening me from a distance. So the moment that we got off the bus, um, um, I just, wanted to get out with all the people and just um, run as quickly to my train and just go to my mom. But they catched up and they kicked me to the floor. And because there were four very nice, courageous ladies that saw it happening, and they really just rushed towards me, so they could not, finish me off basically. But yeah, I really got a very sore ankle, and I fell on the back of my head, and I was like in complete shock. I could not even breathe, and it was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horrible experience. And sometimes you don't, you think you are, yeah, you live your life so freely. I'm really proud of who I am and the person I've become. And then something that like that happens, and that really, you know your confidence just switch. It really took me a while to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I realized that later on, that it had a bigger impact on me than I initially thought it would have. you
Oh,
know
kind of like a like PTSD for
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
this.
I was afraid to go into bus and into a public transport, for example. And my way to deal with it was just by working very hard. And it was like Pride season, so I basically just worked my ass off, and just to not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And to a point, I worked myself into almost like getting a burnout.
Mm-hmm.
In November, my body just crashed. I was starting to get like bald spots on my head, alopecia. My limbs were swelling up, so I needed to go to the hospital to see what's going on. Because we wanted to rule out the worst, and but they could not rule it out. So my body had like such an, yeah, a nasty,
Mm-hmm.
reaction, and really was calling me, so you need to stop now. And I didn't listen. But if you don't listen to your body, your body will make you
Mm-hmm.
stop.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about too, knowing that it happened somewhere like that, because in America we see like a lot of what's happening where there is like a lot more progress being made for a lot of like LGBT issues and
Hmm.
trans rights and things like that, but at the same time, right-wing extremism, it's the march of progress is two step forwards, one step back, and I
Yeah.
feel like we're kind of globally experiencing like a step back right now and a lot of
Right.
aggression and whatever from America, from my standpoint, when I think of like Amsterdam, the Netherlands, like, oh, it's so progressive,
Hmm.
things would be different over there. But then to hear about something like this happening there,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's kind of eye opening. It's
Yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
I still believe that, progress is moving forward, but, the fact that we are seeing this stuff, even
Yeah.
in places like Amsterdam.
Yeah. Yeah, people think of Amsterdam as like very progressive, but nowadays you can see there's a shift going on. It's
Hmm.
like, I have several of my colleagues and several of, drag queens in Amsterdam being already attacked.
Yeah.
And it's getting more and more and more, and we really need to stick
Mm.
stick with each other and fight this hatred.
Yeah.
So this guy is not gonna get away with this.
Hmm.
It's like they found him, they know who he is. So and now we're gonna make some further steps because he's not gonna get away with this.
Hmm. I really think it's just kind of like the death rattle of a dying mindset,
Hmm.
but unfortunately, a lot of people are suffering because of it. And hopefully, with things like this, like getting justice for this, it's just one step forward in the right direction. But
Yeah. Yeah, it was not. Yeah, we wish we had more allies like you.
hmm yeah,
Because we need
my
that.
bullying is only like verbal; it's
Yeah,
never
but it's in your
physical,
face.
never. Yeah. The Human Rights Campaign envisions a world where every member of the LGBTQ plus family has the freedom to live their truth without fear and with equality under the law. Equality for all, without exception. Pride is the time to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community and be proud of living openly and authentically. Pride is a joyful celebration of all the beautiful identities within the LGBTQ plus community. Those in the community create spaces where they can bring their whole selves to dance and march in the streets and declare, "We are here, We are visible, and we are proud. But this year, the HRC cannot ignore the mounting attacks against the LGBTQ plus community. Last year, for the first time in its history, the HRC declared a national state of emergency for LGBTQ plus Americans in recognition of the record-breaking number of anti-LGBTQ plus bills signed into law. This year, the rights and lives of those within the community will be on the line as anti-LGBTQ plus politicians and judges are up for election. Across the country, anti-LGBTQ plus legislators are taking their marching orders from extremist groups and are determined to tell their LGBTQ plus constituents that they should not be seen, heard, or even exist. This Pride Month, let's fight back against all the hate and celebrate the LGBTQ plus community. Donate today by visiting hrc.org/givepride. Make a generous gift this Pride Month and support the LGBTQ plus community. With being like a gay teenager, you obviously dealt with like some struggles like in school, but a lot of those struggles still kind of persisted like into adulthood, including like with your relationships. Because one of your first like serious relationships
Hmm.
was an abusive one, like emotionally and
Oh,
physically.
yeah,
Is that something you're comfortable like talking about?
yeah, yeah.
What was it you were experiencing at this time?
Oof, yeah, that was like my first boyfriend was amazing.
Hmm.
I had a very, very sweet first boyfriend. And you always have the good ones and the shitty ones. And yes, I had a very shitty, abusive one as well. And at first it all started like, perfect, picture perfect, and
Hmm.
he was beautiful. He was a beautiful, beautiful guy, very sweet. But then it turned very dark. He was really using a lot of substances that were not good
Hmm.
for him. And he was basically dragging me into this whole kind of rabbit hole to a point that, he lost control.
Hmm.
And there was like an ongoing thing all the time. Till at one point, long story short, but I was like, okay, well, I cannot keep up with this. This is too much.
Hmm.
And the horrible thing is you get used to the abuse.
Hmm.
And so I always had like hope, no, but he's gonna change, then
Hmm.
we will have a talk, and he was, I would never do it again. I'm so sorry. So you're gonna give him another chance, and but it didn't stop,
Hmm.
But the thing that really, that was like the turning point was that he showed up at my mom's place and was being like very emotional, and he really like offended my mom, and
Hmm.
raised his voice to my mom and said horrible things to my
Oh,
mom,
and that's
and that was like
yeah,
done.
yeah.
That was like I needed that to happen
Hmm.
for me to be okay. The love
Yeah.
was gone outside the door, and I was, yeah, it was not a nice situation, but I needed that to if you're gonna offend my mom or your family
Yeah.
members, then like this is no,
Hmm.
this is not okay.
It's like you could treat me however, but don't you dare come from
Oh
Mama
no,
Peru. Don't
no,
come from Mama
don't
Peru.
come for Mama Peru because you're at the wrong address
Uh-huh.
then.
But as
Yeah,
you're saying, like you say he was going down kind of like this rabbit hole, and this is around the time of like late teens, early 20s,
early 20s,
early
yes,
20s. So
yeah,
this is probably also the same time you're getting really involved in like the club scene and stuff like
yeah.
that. Was it more kind of you just following down this rabbit hole, or was it kind of pulling you down into it as well?
No, I was really going there with him.
Hmm.
Basically, it's like he was a user. So, that because of that, I started to use as well. And yeah, that really got very
Hmm.
nasty at one point. So, um, I
Was
mean,
it difficult getting like out of that situation,
um,
or was it really just like the moment he
yeah,
yelled at your mom, it just like
no, it
problem
was
solved?
also. I lived during that time in this little town in Hilversum,
Hmm.
and in this beautiful villa filled with students. We all had like a very big room, and in that house were like there fitted like eight students, very very big fancy student home,
Hmm.
and but a lot of these these people living in that house, were all very yeah. Um, how do how do I say it? They all like to use their substances, and
Hmm.
Amsterdam is very known for that as well, unfortunately. But every single weekend, it was like a party home.
Hmm.
So and that didn't make it easy as well. And that's actually how we got introduced to a lot of these,
Hmm.
yeah, substances.
I know around this time too, because this is probably either at the tail end or right after like film school,
Yeah,
and you're trying to get into like your acting career. Did this have an
yeah.
effect on like the acting career you were
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
it
pursue?
was during the time that I was still on acting school. Yeah, of course. It
Mm-hmm.
had this effects on me because, you know, as people who have been in acting and in theater school, you know, that's some hardcore shit. You know, that's not easy, you know, because you learn a lot about yourself, and you know, you need to get very close to your emotions all the time. And yeah, that was kind of hard to manage, like this kind of relationship, and also just being, you know, being at acting school and
Yeah.
show the best that you can. But I, during acting school, you know, we broke up as well, you know, and
Okay.
that really that was better for me, because else I would not have finished it. Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like obviously it had like a negative effect on you and your life, but there's
hmm
very good chance that it could have also affected like your future and
yeah,
aspirations and
yeah,
stuff. So
hmm
this is probably like right around the age of 21
yeah.
that you like came out to your mom. And even though she's a huge supporter of you now, she wasn't super supportive at the time, or at least not understanding.
No,
What was that learning process like for her? Because obviously she comes from Peru, which is a
yeah,
lot more very Catholic and
yeah. It was well, she was not really happy, of course. You know, when I
yeah.
came out as gay, she was like, "No, mi hijo maricón no puede ser." It's like, no, I didn't came to this country for you to be gay. You know,
So you were right. She
she
said felt
actually
exactly what
is,
you thought.
yeah. You know, she picked her life so differently from me. You know,
Hmm.
she wanted me to have a wife and kids, a
Hmm.
dog, and you know, be like a straight couple, and um and I said, well, we still can have that maybe in the future, but not with a woman.
Hmm.
And so it took her some time, you know, to come around and, you know, to accept it. And thanks to my first boyfriend, actually, that really, yeah, he was such a lovely boy that she really embraced him a lot. So
Hmm.
very quickly, she was okay with me being gay, but I really needed to explain to her, you know, okay, what's the difference between gay, transgender, lesbian, because you know she comes from a very different background, and she knew about it, you know, but you know, her kid being gay, that was, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a little bit hard on her. And then my second coming out was being a drag queen. And I was
I was
like,
about to ask.
God, it's like, she was like, what the is wrong with this kid? You know,
Yeah.
first he's gay,
Now he
and
wants
now,
to be a
and now
woman.
yeah, that's what she thought,
Yeah.
you know? So like, okay, so now you want to be a woman? It's okay. What's going on here? And I said, no, mom, you know? So yeah, again, trying to explain, no, I'm
Hmm.
not trying to be a woman or not want to be a woman. I feel very confident as a male. So not trans. You know, I love drag. So
Hmm.
I showed her a lot of examples of drag queens, of course, and RuPaul's Drag Race. And, you know, when I got a little bit more success
Hmm.
with drag, she was a little bit more, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a try. You know, if you think that this is the thing that you need to do, then okay, I'm gonna try to understand it. And she did that by buying me a dress. You
Oh wow.
Yeah, and because I invited her to one of my earlier gigs. That was a Latin gig, a Latin party,
Hmm.
and so I was very smart. So I said, okay,
What year was this roughly?
this was, I think, around, oof, this must be around 2017
Okay.
ish.
So
Yeah,
2017.
I
That's
thought, or maybe
see
earlier even.
this is okay, so
Yeah.
this is you from around that time period,
Oh my
2017.
goodness, yes.
But see, this is not even an embarrassing picture because I've looked for the embarrassing
Oh
pictures,
God.
but I think you have like wiped the internet clean because even your embarrassing early drag 2017 is not that bad.
Well, this was actually my first pair of 301s.
Hmm.
I was wearing like lashes, like very
Hmm.
dolly lash, a
Yeah.
women lash. And this DJ, Emmy Perez, she was like, hell no, you need a bigger lash.
Hmm.
So you can really see I didn't know how to use the
It's
301s.
still not bad.
No, but
That's better than most drag queens now.
well, yeah, I came from a makeup background, you know? It's
Yeah.
like I always been doing makeup. So,
Well, the thing is though is that like your first time in drag was 2012 for New Year's Eve.
yes.
That's what I want to see because you have scrubbed the internet of any notion of you looking crunchy, but it has to be out
Well,
there. I know New Year's could not have been looking like that.
no, 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 no,
So,
no. That was 2013 New Year's. That was my
yeah.
first time in drag.
Hmm.
Or 2012, 2013, I think, I
Yeah.
believe.
Any of Envy Peru's friends are watching this video. If you could please share a picture of New Year's 2013 Please.
I can show you some pictures, you know. It's
Yeah.
like I came a long way.
What are you hiding from? What are you? Let the people know. It's okay to be humble sometimes.
No,
Let the
maybe I
people know.
was just perfect.
You're human too. No, I reject that. I rebuke it.
No, I
No, I
was not. I
refuse.
was not. No.
I know you talked before about kind of like an internalized homophobia that you experienced. Obviously, partly because you didn't want to be a disappointment to your family, but
Mhm.
even then going into like drag, because like you would do a lot of your makeup at home alone, not going out in public because you didn't want to be perceived as this like feminine guy or boy
Mhm.
in makeup type
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
what was like the struggle with like the internalized homophobia that you felt, and like
Yeah.
what helped you get over that feeling?
Well, you know, I was at acting school, and I always wanted to be an actor. You know, but I quickly, when I was in acting school, I realized, oh, maybe this is just not for me. You know, I felt very comfortable in playing a role, but even me playing a role was already so feminine and way too gay.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, one of our teachers, it was an assignment at school. He said to me, if he asked, he had an assignment for the whole class, bring something that you are very proud of and have a presentation about that. And for me, that was my first time in drag.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that first picture in drag. I did a whole presentation at acting school.
New Year's 2013.
Yes, yes, I showed that during that class.
Well,
And
if you were so proud of it then, why aren't you that proud of it now?
well, no, because you know,
What are you
fuck you.
hiding?
No, so no, but I think that was a turning point as well because he saw how I was talking about drag so passionately. So he said to me, "It's like maybe this is the thing that you are supposed to do." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Hell no!" You know, it's like I'm an actor. I came to the school to be an actor, not to
Mhm.
be a drag queen. You know, I love drag, but I was like, I didn't see a career for myself in that. But that really got me thinking from, oh, maybe this is for me actually,
Mhm.
because you know, I always loved fashion. I always loved makeup, and I've always been experimenting with makeup at home. You know, it's like I told you, it's like I was always drawing, and basically with makeup, I was
Mhm.
drawing on my face or on the
Yeah.
face of my good Judies.
Well, even then, outside of that, like I said, all these pieces kind of fit together
Yeah.
naturally for drag. But then also, you were like setting up little stages with shoeboxes for your dolls to perform on. You know, you had you had like your own little drag
Yeah.
retablos. You know, basically like little
Yes.
setups. So you even if you weren't the model of the drag queen yet, you were like playing out little scenarios of one.
Yes. Oh
So.
my God. Yes. Yeah, you know, I loved playing with dolls when I
Mhm.
was very young, and you know, I used to like make dresses for my Barbie dolls, and
Mhm.
you know, even for shoe boxes, I made stages, you
Mhm.
know, with lights and everything, and that Barbie was always like, you know, performing on that shoe box, and
Mhm.
actually, now thinking back at it, I was maybe already manifesting my future.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That Barbie did have a deep voice too. As you're
yeah.
playing with her, you're like, huh. She kind of sounds like me.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like with how successful your drag career has obviously taken you, are you almost like glad that your acting career flopped? Like, do you?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, yes. Yeah, because you know, like I said, I knew I was not, you know, my heart was not in acting,
Hmm.
and I had very shitty jobs. You know, I worked at call centers just to be like available whenever you get the call for an audition. I was like, well, I don't think this is going to happen for me. You
Hmm.
know, it's like also in Holland, there's not so much Latino representation. Basically, there's a very small Latino community, but the thing that I love from the US is like there's such a big Latino community. So
Hmm.
coming here really makes me feel at home. And because we don't have that kind of big Latino representation in Holland, I knew from, well, it's probably not going to happen for me.
Hmm.
So
That's probably
drag came at the right moment, I think.
it's like acting in Holland. It's probably like they're looking for roles. It's probably like a lot of like white people
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
so. How many things did you star in? Probably only like a couple films, like background characters,
Oh,
Party
yeah,
Kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Party Kids.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Hmm.
One of the first ones, yeah. I was very young. It's like, oh, watching that, it's like, that's my old face.
Hmm. Before the fillers.
Yeah, well, I got in a lot of trouble with that movie, with that abusive boyfriend that I was talking to you
Hmm.
about. We were filming during that relationship, basically,
Mm.
and it was a very like intimate video film that
Hmm.
we did, and he went really crazy because he knew that well,
Mm.
yeah, it will be like an intimate
He couldn't
gay
accept it.
video.
He
No.
couldn't accept that it's like, oh no, it's just acting. It's just
No, no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. He was really calling me like in between of recordings, like, where are you? This was crazy. It was mental. Even now thinking about it, it's like, wow.
Yeah, I,
It's like where were my boundaries?
I think if you're trying to break into like acting, having a boyfriend that doesn't want you even touching another
No,
person, it's like kind of
no,
might be a little bit of a
that doesn't
hindrance.
work.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't work. So yeah.
Compatibility is a little off on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, like acting was your passion since the age of about 11 or so. Even
Yeah.
like you saved up like money for like workshops, you went to film school.
Yeah.
Is acting still something you have aspirations for, or is it like a bygone era for you now?
I don't want to close the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would love to act in some kind of drag film or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And but yeah, who knows? It's like in Holland, I did the voice of RuPaul
Mm-hmm.
in Trolls.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I enjoyed that. That was so much fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So whenever there's gonna be like a movie, then hit me up. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, you could be the Dutch or Peruvian RuPaul, and if not too, like I said, you have your visa now. You come to America, probably
Yeah.
get a couple little roles and some stuff.
Yeah, that would be
So the
amazing.
possibilities are endless. Now
Right.
you can actually come somewhere where they cast, Latina people. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that would be that would be amazing.
yeah. But getting into drag, like you gained so much notoriety so fast in drag. How did you get so high up and of notoriety in the Holland scene,
Yeah,
like so quickly?
Yeah, I basically, I've been always practicing makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup was really my thing. And at one point, I started working at MAC Cosmetics. There was this drag queen working at one of the MAC stores, Tabitha,
Mm-hmm.
who is now my drag mom. And I've been basically stalking her. It's like going to the store. And it's like, okay, do you have an email for me? Where I can apply, for MAC. And at one point, she gave it to me, and she's also the one who gave me my first booking at the end. Go
Oh
a
wow.
little bit for yeah.
Okay.
She was the one that she saw something in me.
Mm-hmm.
I was posting every single Halloween. I was posting drag pictures.
Mm-hmm.
To a point, she was like, "Girl, you look so beautiful." He's like, "Stop posting these pictures. You need the stage. Go let the world see you." And I was like, "But no, I can't. I don't even have a name." I said, "Well, make a name up."
Mm-hmm.
So she really gave me that little push that I needed to be comfortable on yeah.
She's one of like your two drag moms.
Yes.
Y'all with the Wikipedia update it because none of the wikis are giving her any credit. They all
No.
say Vanessa Van Cartier.
Oh yeah. Vanessa is. I
Yeah.
always say Vanessa is a very good friend of mine, and a big inspiration.
Mhm.
So I learned a lot from her.
Yeah. I just want to
in
make
my
sure
drag
your other
career.
drag mom gets her flowers as
Of
well. Though.
course,
So
of course.
just a little footnote in the Wikipedia.
Yes, I don't
Yeah.
want to have any fights with my moms.
Yeah. So we established kind of how you got in the drag scene, but how did
Mhm.
you get so like popular in the drag scene so quickly? Is it just like just hitting the stages hard and just hard work?
Yeah, basically when I had my first gig
Mhm.
in Amsterdam, the one that Tabitha gave me, and that's when Envy Peru was born.
Mhm.
I was already quite polished. I knew how to block my brows. My makeup was looking very good. So I brought something very new to the Amsterdam drag scene. We had like not so much diversity back then. There were some very established older queens.
Yeah, but they were
And
all ugly, so
I don't want to say that. I don't want to get into trouble with them.
the
But
silence is deafening. The silence speaks volumes.
well, yeah, I brought some more beauty and more
Mhm.
grace and more like polishedness
Mhm.
than that was not really there at that moment in time. So yeah, people noticing me
Mhm.
after my first show, and they started booking me everywhere.
Mhm.
So meanwhile, I was working at MAC. I was doing the shows in between,
Mhm.
and that's how people really noticed me because even starting, people really loved my makeup and how I looked, and I had something. I think just
Mhm.
started there at the right moment, at the right time.
Yeah, you were gaining a lot of attention in like the local drag scene and even by all the boys, even though you didn't want that attention in drag. But right?
No,
Yeah, you talked about all the guys hitting on you
oh my god.
because you say you made yourself too pretty. You had the
Yes.
boys hitting on you.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was a moment in time.
Yeah.
It's like I paint a little bit more subtle than I do now.
Hmm.
But yeah, there were some moments that I confused some of the straight boys. Yes.
What was your first drag name? Was it like Carmen or
Yeah.
something like that? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carmen.
So now you could look back whenever you were softer and the guys were flirting, you're like, oh no, that was Carmen.
That was Carmen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Carmen. That was
Yeah.
like the the woman name,
Yeah,
you
Envy. Yeah,
know?
that was yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and
the woman
the
name.
woman
Yeah,
name.
Envy would do like that. That was
No,
Carmen was
that
pulling
was
all the
Carmen. Yeah,
boys.
Carmen was a very naughty girl
Envy is
back
an
then.
artiste,
Right.
but Carmen,
Yeah, Carmen was no, just Carmen.
like where just Carmen?
Yeah, it was just Carmen.
Where in the world is just Carmen,
Just
right?
Carmen.
Just yeah. But on top of like growing in the drag scene in Holland, you also started to gain like a huge following online.
Yeah.
What really skyrocketed that? Was it just like the video you did with NikkieTutorials, or were you really growing an online presence prior to that?
Well, I saw, you know, I learned a lot from the Drag Race girls, and I saw back in the days, there were just a lot of girls who did like Transformation Tuesday pictures, for example, and so I got very good in that because you know people thought I was a very nice looking boy as well, in the like the drag side, so that gained a lot of attention, and of course Nikki, her best picture here, you found the most flattering picture of NikkieTutorials.
I tried.
Yeah, she noticed me, and she at one point she invited me to her YouTube channel, and she asked me if I could do her makeup, and I was like gagged. You know, Nikki always has been a very big inspiration for me. I learned a lot from her in my early days, you know, discovering makeup and playing with makeup. So I was like, oh yes, you know, let's do this, you know.
Yeah.
And so I said there was no doubt about it. I said yes right away, and you know she ordered this big limo to come pick me up in
You got picked up in a
Amsterdam.
limo?
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
in a very beautiful Mercedes. You know, she knows how to treat the girls correctly.
I had you Uber over here. I feel
Yeah.
bad now.
No, that's fine.
Oops.
No, so we filmed that video and people loved that video. And that was actually the first time that people really started noticing me internationally.
Yeah, I saw the video. You did the makeover with her and it had like over 4 million views.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't watched the video yet, this is the makeup that she did on her.
Ah!
It's a really good watch. Definitely
Yeah,
check it out.
the best picture, the best makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very good at makeup, as you can
Yeah.
see.
I didn't realize until because like I knew of NikkieTutorials. I never watched like a bunch of her videos like that. I didn't
You
realize she
should.
was Dutch because I only saw the videos that she did in English and her accent is like hardly even noticeable. I
Yeah.
thought she was just from LA. I had no
No.
idea she was Dutch.
Yeah, she really mastered the accent, the
Uh-huh.
American accent, something I'm still trying, but I'm never gonna accomplish.
No, I saw a video of her like speaking Dutch. I was like, how'd she learn Dutch? And I was like, oh, she's from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does Dutch sound for you?
It sounds like you ever play The Sims?
Yes.
It sounds like The Sims, but with a little more, you know,
Yeah.
back of the throat a little
Yeah.
bit. So it's like a mix between The Sims and a little German.
Yes.
That's what it
Well,
sounds like to
that's
me.
basically what it is.
Like knoekna.
Goed na, ja,
Ja.
alles goed.
Snoe snoe.
Ja,
Yeah.
het ziet er mooi uit.
Yeah. I don't know enough Simlish to really add more. I had to look at like some terms or something. I used to know more because I used to play a lot of Sims when I was
Oh,
younger.
I love The Sims.
The Sims?
You know, I
Because
always...
you knew the language, so it was a lot more
Yeah.
fun probably.
Of course, if you saw my village, you know, I had like, you know, you could download like the celebrities as well. So I got in my neighborhood, I had like a Tyra Banks, I had a Naomi Campbell, I even had a Duitse Cruz, I had a Beyonce, and a very famous, very good looking soccer players as well. At one point, I had like a Brad Pitt sim, and I had like what was it? An Mission Impossible Tom Cruise sim. And I was really into, you know, I found very attractive men. So I always will make them made out with each other in The Sims.
Kiss,
Yeah,
kiss.
and that was like my porn.
There it is. But as you mentioned, like you grew up such a huge following like online, grew up very big in like the Holland drag scene, eventually getting cast for Drag Race Holland, which you won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then going on from that, is it true that you turned down a chance to be on Canada versus the World?
Yes.
What was
I
your
did.
reasoning for that?
Well, World of Wonder called me, and they said, well, we have an offer for you. We already said no to them, but we just wanted to check with you if you would be interested. And I was for Canada versus the World, and I said, well, you know, if I'm gonna go back on Drag Race or whatever season, I want to do it in front of RuPaul. And there's nothing against Brooklyn Heights because I love Brooklyn Heights, you know. But I've never been in front of RuPaul. I want to present my drag in front of Mother Ru.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Well, as you said, it's just Brooklyn. as you said.
Well,
Yeah, it's
that
just
those are your
Brooklyn. It's
words.
just Brooklyn. Well, I'm just saying what you're. I'm just translating for the audience what you're trying to say because you're trying to be all nice. It's just Brooklyn.
Well, now I understand why they wanted to be on that season, because Isis Couture was on that season as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to have like
All
two
the
winners
winners and
against each other.
yeah.
I was like, no. This was not the right moment for me to go back as well.
So are you waiting for like an all winners or like an all stars type situation?
Yeah. When the time is right, then I would be very interested to go back. But I need to feel like secure about it. It's like I will feel it like when the moment is the right moment. Yeah. Would you like to see me on All Winners?
Yeah, they need filler queens for that too. That'd be great.
Oh, that was too easy.
No.
But we don't get eliminated though.
Huh?
We don't get eliminated.
All the more reason for you to go back.
You, Maddy.
Give you 15 more minutes. You deserve it. Why not?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so last question.
Get my pepper spray.
Okay, last question. Who is your favorite pop icon, and why is it TIKIIII the parrot?
How do you know that? TIKIIII the parrot.
Tick. I said bacon pancakes, bacon pancakes.
How do you know that? TIKIIII. Oh, if you don't, you know the parrot? Oh, I'm obsessed with that parrot.
Yeah.
It's like me and my boyfriend. We talk like
you send animal videos back and forth to each other. But what is it about TIKIIII that's so special? There's all these birds on TikTok, but why TIKIIII?
Because TIKIIII is the epiphany of happiness. It's like how you say like TIKIIII pancake, and it's like the only two words that he knows, and that's TIKIIII pancake, and that it tickles me. I think that's so funny. And actually, it's not only TIKIIII, but you have a lot of parrots now on the TikTok that I love. I have some. Me and my boyfriend have something with birds. We love talking birds. Yeah.
Your entire TikTok For You page is just
birds.
Parrots, birds.
It's birds. Really, that is just birds.
All right. Well, with that is the last of the time we have before you have to rush you off to the gig. Before you go, I did want to give you something, just something to carry with you as you're traveling through America and onward. But if you could just explain to everyone the importance of why you love, giraffes so much. What is it about giraffes that means so much to you?
Oh, this is very cute. Well,
I made sure it was small so you can travel with it. Because there was one that was
this
like
is for me.
Yeah, it's for you.
Really?
It's a little gift for you. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Maddy. Oh, that's beautiful. The story behind it is also very, very beautiful because, like I told you, when I moved to the Netherlands, we didn't have anything, and I just came to Europe or to the Netherlands with a little giraffe, with a little toy giraffe, and that's the only thing that I had, basically. And that's little giraffe. I still have it. That really resembles something very beautiful for me. It will always have like a special meaning for me, that little giraffe. Because that really motivated me to reach the highest thing possible in my career. And the giraffe is always looking down on other people.
See, that's the real answer. That's the first honest thing you said all interview. She likes giraffes because they look down on people.
Yes.
No, but yeah, I just want to give like a symbol of like your younger years, where you come from. Coming from just a small little immigrant child all the way to international superstar.
And
now you're on my show, and this is probably the peak for you, but it's amazing
yeah,
nonetheless.
It's one of the high points in my career. Thank you so much for flying me over all the way from the Netherlands
on
here.
A Spirit airline.
Yeah. No, it's been so lovely, It's like I really feel like my journey is just starting, and it's been such a pleasure to be here on your show.
Like I said, you're on your America tour. This video's coming out probably next week, so you still have a couple days on your America tour. So where are you going next? Do you have any like other shows coming up outside of the Netherlands, or any projects or anything?
Well, Las Vegas is now my last stop, and then I need to go back to Holland, prepare everything for DragCon LA. So I'm gonna be back.
Oh, you're gonna be here for DragCon?
I'm gonna be here for DragCon
awesome.
as well in LA, and I will come back as well to Chicago to see Continental, because my good sister Janie GK, she won Queen of the North yesterday. So
wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to Chicago to support her.
You ever gonna do a Continental?
I don't know.
No?
I don't think that's the right moment for me.
Okay.
No. I love pageantry and I love everything about it and I love to see it. But
She's saying you're on All Stars 10. That's what you're telling me right now. Got it.
maybe in the future, maybe, but not for me now. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in all your social medias, it's just at Envy Peru.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
at Envy Peru. I'm very easy to find.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, she is very easy.
oh, sorry. Oh yeah,
You know, we had a note from our producers. Your Instagram is actually different though.
my Instagram is at Miss Envy Peru. If you don't
At
follow
Miss Envy
me,
Peru.
yes.
All right. And you guys can find me right here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future guests. And join us next time whenever we have somebody else.
Who's gonna be?
Yeah. RuPaul, finally.
Oh my
It's
God,
my
can you
big fish.
imagine?
A season finale.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, until then, see you later, guys.
Let's go. Bake a pancake.